I am Brenda Jean Power. I am from Medicine Woman Soultion. There is so much going on. And there's so much going on. There's going to be a reset and up leveling for my world. And I'm excited because we're going to bring you more education. And we're going to, at first I thought it was all about wanting to help you heal. I still do. But I want to be able to, people are hungry for the education. People are hungry. How did you wake up? How did you do it? And now I feel like with Tribe, there's a reset going on. And I believe we're not just going to help you understand how to heal and give you the tools to heal and create healing sessions where you can heal. Those will still be there to some degree. But we're going to start giving you the basics, the nitty gritties, the things that will shift you to awaken like you wouldn't believe, but not just give you information, but be able to help you understand how to make it stick. So we're excited about that. That was weird. I had an idea at the same time as that, thinking, I probably should go to the bathroom before I donate. Oh, check it out. Thank you so much, Linda Love. Let me just double check this. Oh, wasn't paying attention. Oh, Nita. Nita has a pay it forward too. Okay. Oh my God, I got to get back on track here. I did not see that. So Nita gave a pay it forward. And we have a Linda Love that gives a pay it forward. So is there any, I check my time. We're good. Okay. So Linda Love, we'll have you come on. And Nita, did I read that right, Nita, Sweet Cheeks? No, I didn't. Nita, you want to come on? Okay, I'm going to have to take a break because the energy of here is everybody's energies are twisting in front of me. We have one pay it forward from Linda Love. Nita is ready to come on. She will be first, then Linda Love. What is going on with this energy? It's this metaverse or this shift from Facebook. No, it's these light codes. Before I give you the link, Nita, let me tell you what that was the other thing this weekend. I was giving a reading. Okay, see, that's why I didn't think so. I don't understand what's happening, but I do. All right, you ready? I was giving supposed to be my weekend off, but Spirit wants me to learn. And so then I took a couple clients and this and that. But this is what happened with the energy. Usually when I'm using Spirit's words, there's a certain amount of energy and code that your soul says, hey, this is how I speak, communicate with me. So usually I can feel what I say, I can feel the light code, tell a story. This was multiple. I could see a light code on top of a light code, but you can't get to that light code until you read this light code. And there was like layers. It was reminding me of a book, and it was so weird. And I had to tell people, okay, so when we did this, you felt enlightenment. But if you watch it again, the first light codes will be more cemented, and then the second light codes will pop up. But then when you watch it again, if you need to, then you're going to get something deeper. So that was this weekend. And I think that is what's happening here. So now we'll go to Linda Love. All right, Miss Linda. Choo, 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 choo. I hear a train. And then at first it started here, then I hear figures around me. And it's like, you feel something's coming. You feel something's coming. Choo, 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 choo. I don't feel like it's speeding up. I feel like it's at a nice steady pace. And I'm feeling stifled. I'm feeling, because something's coming, I feel stifled. And they said, this feeling because you had a learned behavior. This feeling. And they said that you're ready to start addressing how you feel like, I want to do one thing, but I can't because there's this coming at me. And I'm like, what? And you have people that are going to tattle on you. And then when so-and-so hears it, you're supposed to, on a learned behavior, be afraid. Now, this is not in the mind. This is more in the body now. Because you know that I am not doing this again. So you reject that out of your reality. I'm not going to do this again. To really help you heal it out of your space, they said they want you to notice that it's R1D, lung area. And they want you to know this has to do with the word overcompensating. So If you felt somebody was injured, you would compensate them. Yeah, it's my mistake here. But then you were trained to overcompensate, to give more. And you're starting to notice, whoa, I need the boundary. I can compensate. I don't have to compensate for everything. I need to start retraining myself not to do that. We are really shifting differently. So when I get back, Nita and then Linda Love. Yes. Okay. Oh, wait, what? No, I did pay it forward and a one. Okay, it does say it. It's right on my screen. What is missing? Okay, I'm not, see it again. I'm not being hijacked. There's a lot going on. And I don't know why it was misread twice. So there was a pay it forward. Spirit, who's messing with me? Who is messing with me? This is very bizarre. Okay. Got that. Maybe I just need to go to the bathroom. Now they're telling me that, when you start to have new skills, you have to figure out how to use them. Apparently, I downloaded some new skills because I've been really focusing on the reconnection energy flow. And then I was reconnecting with not just the reconnection, but with all of the energy healing tools about the physical. And they keep bringing up the etheric template of the physical. And I think I have a new gift that I have not been able to actually quite see that I have, but I can feel it. It just feels like one of those others. Okay, so it sounds like I'm a blubbering idiot, but I'm not. I'm very qualified at what I'm doing. Okay, we've got this. When I get back, I will send the link to Miss Linda Love. What does that mean? Just give me a few minutes because I'm going to go. I can't splash water on my face. I am on camera. Well, I will go use the restroom anyway, maybe wash my hands and recenter and get the static energy off. That's one of the tools that needs to be done. And I'm going to recenter myself and do a little, but I'm going to do it quick. Okay. So I just have to find where I put it. Oh, this is so bizarre. I've just like, all right, this is where you say, thank you, Spirit. Whatever it is, help me do the next thing. This is awesome. Cleared out my sinuses. I just was like, okay, what can I do? I made my face red, hands red. We're recentered, regathering, recouping. And when you feel a little off, grab a tool. Because the last couple of days I've been feeling the strangeness in my head. And usually that can be a sign that more spiritual awakenings or awareness. Okay. Now you can do half, you don't have to do whole. There was only half of me that was not recentering, which now it has. We're good. All right. So like I promised, we will go to Miss Linda Love. Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't forget. Drink some water, see if I get electrical. And here is a lovely Linda. We'll get this mic. There we go. We got it. Yay.
Hello.
So how are you and how can I help you?
I'm great. Pretty much, you said choo-choo.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
I've been hearing the sound of the train for the past few days, and I knew that it was
Really?
constantly. There's so much going on.
Okay, so Spirit, help me understand. And I think that's what was causing the discombobulation there towards the end. It was the most weirdest thing. So now that we have confirmation, oh, here we go. Wow. Okay, it went through my heart, a strange feeling, but then it went straight down to my thighs and down my legs. It's like it missed parts of me. My body wants to react a certain way. So is my body having a hard time? My body is doing the best to adapting? No, readjusting. That means it's not really wanting to cooperate. All right. Let me see now. Oh, it's silence. Now, if I turn my head just right, it's like there's silence. Now, I don't know where I'm at because I said I'm in a new gifted area, but I have to walk into this room. I have to go into this space. Oh, fuck, there's a pain in my head now. Hold on, I'm going to go into this space. Your body is doing a survival as a human instinctively that says, I don't feel safe, therefore I have to do like a fight, flight, freeze. So it's saying, so if you've ever watched the body, it does a self-preservation where it'll like pull you to safety. Now my rib cage is just all the way across my rib cages. Jesus. Okay, this is going to sound weird, but I feel like I've been alien abducted. Just saying.
Oh, wow. Okay, I have to say something now that you just said that, because that's how I always feel. But I mean, I just did a crystal elongated skull activation today.
Okay. Now here's an interesting part. I'm in the space. I'm not in form. This is why they kept bringing up the etheric part of me. I'm actually literally walking around talking to them as if I already communicate with them every day. I'm like the chief of something. And I'm starting to remember what my duties are. The physical human aspect is like, what the? You're just not in agreement just yet. That's all. But I'm you right now, and I'm walking around. I'm literally know what the technology it is that I'm looking at. There's somebody on this table over here, though, because see, now my head hurts. It's so weird. Just let me walk over there. This looks like a body, but it looks like my fear, like your humanistic fear. And so, because when I go up to it, because there's a difference, like I can over here and I can see the hologram of this body that you're working on and healing, but this is my body, meaning you, this is your body, but I feel like this is your humanistic fear, imagination that's created this, looks like it's got wires. And so you know that this is the fear, you know it's not real, but at the same time, how do we get you as the human to let go so that the block will be removed? And now it's like I'm looking at the schematic board. Okay, you know, like how you have a chart record in the hospital, you got this little electronic thing and you're reading it, and I go, well, let's hear, yeah, you're discussing something with somebody else that's actually taking care of this particular body conscious. They really want to say body conscious. They don't want to say that, you know, because you have your own mind, but the body conscious. Oh, what if we try this? I'm hearing that. I'm watching and listening to you guys communicate about different options and things like this. And then you're over there and you're like, oh my God, I see it. Now you're fully aware that you see it, but you're not able to download that aspect. So I'm going to walk over here just now. Just give me a minute. But I can't stop looking at the body conscious, the fear that you're holding of what this is. Okay. Now we're walking over. Now, what's interesting is I feel like you are fully, oh, good Lord, you are fully aware that you know I'm there. So if you start dreaming with me being you in the spaceship with you, okay, it's because Okay, never mind. You know this. So just give me a minute. I have to walk with you over here. Now we have this big window. It was interesting because I feel like that it's not on a ship. I feel like we're on a planet, but I don't think it's this one.
No.
No, because the way the sun's coming through or the way the light, I don't even know what the hell that is. But what we refer to as the sun. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm in a whole fucking other galaxy. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
uh,
Because none of the smells are the same. My body is like going, thank God it's etheric.
yes.
I didn't set the timer. That's how confused I am right now. Okay. Okay.
Woo.
So now we're just going to go over. Okay, there we are. We have volumes of books that are trying. I think you're trying to revive a memory. No, sorry. You're stuck on this sphere. It's like you watched a horror alien show and you can't get the picture out of your head. They said this is really not real because if I walk back over, you're paper thin. Because we could pick you up and then lay you flat again. It's the most weirdest. But then when I go to touch you, I can feel you being real on that bed.
Yeah. I spent a lot of my lifetimes in etheric form. I'm very, very etheric.
Okay. Because you're not even light body. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. Yeah, it's like yeah. There was a movie. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to ask Spirit to have me remind it. But it was a movie on Netflix where they went to sleep. They have the real world, and then they went to sleep, and they lived in an alternative world, and they lived as on the street corners and all of this, and they couldn't really have a home. Somehow that movie reminds me of whatever it is that whatever your body's doing. This is kind of freaky, but I'm not letting it freak me out. So just give me a moment. You just put a crystal in my hand. Now, the traditional crystals of the clear ones with the point at the end, but you slapped it in my hand and it says, look, it looks like nuts. Oh, yes. It looks like, now, do you have a pair that goes with it? Because you have something that goes with it. You have a companion pair that goes with it. Yes, that's it. They said the answer is in that. There's something about the amplification, and it's like the language, you forgot how to even communicate this particular high-tech language.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Does this make sense?
Being all that. Yes, because I am.
Oh, sorry, that just rushed through me. What the fuck was that? I think they just threw me back at home. I'm back. Whoa.
I have the capability of holographically see what I have put in a crystal, and I was the one that created the first transportation used with crystals.
Yeah, perfect sense. I read the thing too. Yes, exactly.
And
you are a scientist. You're more than a scientist. You're more than a physicist. You're more.
The body thing that you're talking about.
Yes.
They're always telling me that my biggest lesson here is to be comfortable in this dense body, because I am always, even when I'm awake, I spend most of my time in everywhere else astrally. I feel more comfortable up there, which I call home, than I do.
Exactly. And the thing is you can't get those answers until you master this.
Yeah.
And then once you've mastered this, then you'll attain a certain amount of enlightenment, and then you can be light body here, which then can activate the light body transport.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta have some candy. I gotta have something. So I'm back home. I need something. I can't even. Oh, that was a trip and a half, Linda.
I knew, I felt it coming. I was sitting here, I had the activation, and I've been going through this whole thing, I can't even speak, the whole day. And then
I can't even speak either.
clicked on my Facebook, and I was sitting here and I said, I need someone that I trust. I need someone that can go with me with what I'm going through right now.
Apparently volunteered, huh?
And there you were.
And my body's just trying to catch up to what I just did. And my brain says, see, you got this. And I'm like, yeah, well, the discombobulation is happening. And then I needed all the work. Wow, you'll be getting some major codes. But you starting to understand, you've got to master this.
Yeah.
But you have to master the ascension awakening. Kind of like why they chose me was because that's kind of what I'm doing to help people understand how to do this. Create the light activation body while you're in the vessel of the density.
Yeah. Becoming
a spiritual human. Oh, yeah, I'm coming back right now. Wow, that was a trip and a half, Linda. Oh, God. Was not expecting that, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. That's the adventures of medicine woman. I swear. I have got to watch this later. Because I have no idea what I said. I was like supposed to wear these earrings for you too. That makes perfect sense now. They remind me of a multi-type of like the infinity or a Mobius strip but these drippings reminds me also the frequency of music.
Oh,
I mean, I had to wear this color with this earrings, very specific today, but I'm colorless. Yeah, no. I bling bling.
No. It may seem colorless, but there is, wow, color within. Where are they going? Where are they taking me?
I don't know, but
there's color in dullness. And those earrings, I've been watching them since you got here, and it looks like things that I see very very it's you said music, and I'm trying to stay here with you instead of not going up there.
I know, because all of a sudden I went there and you puffed up. You don't look like a sheet of paper anymore. I can see you fully. I can see that I'm here, but I'm also consciously in that spaceship, planet, whatever that space of dimension and time, wherever we're at, you're kind of puffed up now. It's like they're finally breathing life into you. And then all of a sudden they have these streams that are coming down. See, if I don't look, I can see it really well. And they're actually codes. And they look like, like the Matrix, those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're hooking up the right ones for you. And what's happening is I'm watching some streams now taking off. And there's part of you that's like puffed up with life because you're not thin as paper anymore. Ooh, like I hear music now.
Yeah. Music is
you're like a plant. You gotta be entertained, you gotta give it love, you gotta get it all the perfect little things in the environment. If the plant's not growing, change the environment. And so there's the environment and they are changing and they're starting to understand that. And then as the body starts to handling that feedback, then you'll start wanting to feel like home consciously to reinvent yourself because you know that there's a higher power.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not gibbly goop, gobbly gop, whatever. Maybe I still am. I can't even say that word. Wow. Oh, that was so exciting.
that was needed.
Oh my God. You are now putting on your physicist hat. You're like, I'm so ready.
Yeah, I am.
All right. Well, I think this session's ends because you both know what you need to do. All right. They're going to help us close this out. Thank you so much for that trip. I will talk to you later. And oh my God, I'm excited. Okay. We'll talk to you later. Bye, hon.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. I just give me a minute. Oh my God. I can't wait to read the feedback on this thing. I probably should check in with Miranda and see what's going on because I have no freaking clue. I need to breathe. I don't know what I need. I feel like a cartoon. I need a trip to Las Vegas. All right, got to get my nerves. Well, it's not my nerves. Okay, I am Brenda. I am Brenda. I am Brenda. I have now got this incredible connection. Yes, I do. Oh, it was time. I told you there was a new healing aspect coming in. Oh, Jesus. Somebody just give me. Okay. I'm waiting to see if they're going to flash me, make me forget. And I go, no, you're part of the crew. Oh, thank goodness. Excellent. They just said your nerves are like drunk on that pleasure of that. And that would make sense. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have to write, oh, okay. Hello, 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 hello. You're new. I don't know who you are, but I'm glad to meet you. If you've never known, there's my Galactic crew up here. I don't know how else to explain it. They're over there laughing. It's you non-fleshies are just having the fun of your life over there watching. There. I'm going to be downloading a new data stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I graduated. That's why I got the stars today. And if anybody understands, when I help you heal stuff, when I help you heal stuff, you got to tell those littles, here's your star. Let's put it on your forehead. And when you get into that space, you will really be happy, 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 happy. I'm not even sure. I can hear her. There she is. Ooh, you had major downloads. You had an epiphany or two too, didn't you? Oh, okay. How can I help you? Are we going to go play? Are we going to go play? Oh my God, I'm excited. There's a part. Okay.
We just might, because I'm very, 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 very high frequency today.
Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in. Here's the thing. Something looks like a cookie cutter, but it's not what it seems. It's over there. You're looking at something to find the answer, but it's not there. It looks the same, but it's over there. Meaning the piece you're looking for is over there. So you have to stop looking in this direction. You need to go over there. They said literally pull out, give your ego something else to do, because then all of a sudden you're going to see it. And it'll look like a simple code. You're like, I've seen this 1,000 times. Correct. But it's over there. And the reason the direction is over there is because then you're seeing it has to do with a direction. You literally understand better with that energy field. Does that make sense? Now that I'm showing that you don't use, I see diamonds, I see tiny diamonds, I see very specific diamonds, like a Herkimer diamond. I see, does that help? Okay, yep. So what happens is that I feel like it's about how you do the diamond placement. So you know how when a laser beam goes through, there's something about a diamond placement. And it is as if that you don't have it on the right angle. You don't have something on the right angle, because you know when you flash something through, it can project something on the wall to read a code. You're flashing something through, but you're not flashing the right frequency of light to see the code. But the thing is that if you just already know you do, and you have the code, you'll say, I know the familiarity of that code. There it is. Just like when I woke up this morning, I'm Linda. Ah, yeah, there it is. So when you're looking for this, don't be going, oh, I can't find something I can't see. Yes, it's something that's unconscious and you don't know you need to know it, but you do know you need to know it. You just think, well, I've never seen this before, but that's not true. Yeah. Just like you know who you are, you know this code. So you say, yeah, I'm ready. Thank you, Spirit. And just watch it pop. Train yourself to see it pop.
They have me writing since I'm on with you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Little to the left, little to the left. See if you can put another type of a Morse code next to that. See what happens. Whoa. Now I'm in a crystal room with you, and it's something to do with stuff that's coming down. And they said these are strings and strands. These are about time and space, but they are also like, you haven't visited your mother in a while. Okay, not real life mother, but so there's something about visiting the past, something about visiting. And I'm like, so you're like, yeah, but now there's a joke. How do I phone home? Phone home. So there's like, you're not finding the right little, she didn't give me your phone number. How can I phone home? I'm sorry, they're making me laugh. So now again, I'm looking at all these things. They look like streamers that are coming down, but what they are little crystal things. But that's interesting because they're more of a light body aspect of code. Just let me look at it. I'm just going to explore this just for a moment. Whew. Why do they give me a big ass? At least I know it's there. But it's interesting. I can see myself there, but I can also see through my own eyes. And now it's like, but to help me let me know I've got a big ass. Can I just write a new code for that? Now, we are completely on a different area. I feel like we're traveling now because I feel like if I look out, space is there. It's not the same place as we were in the interstellar galactical place we were at. This is a whole, we're traveling together all of a sudden. Ugh. And there's like, beam me up, Scotty. Okay, so you have that already, the beaming capabilities. There's all of these different things. But they remind me of, okay, now they're really taking me to the old time Star Trek shows. I have no idea why. And it's the funny sayings that they say. So they're having Will Shatner come in. It's the pauses, you know what I'm talking about. And so there's somebody familiar that you are meant to connect with, that is going to have a piece of information. But then it's going to be a real life person, but it's going to be in their personality that you're going to go, they got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what's interesting is part of your old part of you says, well, how do I trust those people that say they want to wine and dine me? Mm-hmm. You know, it's like you've got this attitude over here. And so you have to do real life sometimes. You got to come out of that space. They're like, come down to earth, Linda. Okay, whatever. The point is that somebody's bitching because I'm watching you pick up your kids. I'm watching you doing your things. You're doing your stuff. Somebody thinks they know better than you. Okay, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on the ship, but I'm watching all of this. You've already, oh, look at that. You got a piano. You actually can start, oh, this is really brilliant. Hold on, I gotta soak this in. I am, this looks like the Tesseract. Give me a moment to understand. But you have a, damn. Wow, I'm looking at these timelines. And you're like, I have to play this one out. So you're deliberately pulling in different timelines and I've got to figure this something out. There's a piece here I've missed. I feel like you're going and living all these different timelines because you're looking for something that you felt like you left behind. And I'm going to feel, is it really, did you feel like you left it behind? Your nerves are saying that it has to do with I was incompatible with something and I need to be compatible again. But my etheric form does not feel like it has the control. Okay, so that's part of it. Okay, they're showing me a picture. Okay, this is weird. Your sensory systems are all crossed because I'm looking at a picture, but I'm hearing the picture. Well, hell, it's like a movie, but that's not it. This is a different type because now it's like I have to taste the movie.
All senses.
Yes, all of them, to the point where my spleen is going, what? Well, I know what this is. This is abuse. You were told a lie, and you haven't quite woke up to see the program. Because I'm watching you with your little tiny spaceship, if we just want to call it that, circling around this one timeline, going around a circle. That's like you look and you're like, there it is, there it is, there it is. And it's kind of like what I do when I look back and I can see. And I said, can you tell me more? Oof, I'm going to hot flash. So there's something about you almost made the escape, but somebody tattled, and the wrath that came at you was very abusive and devastating, very traumatic. Does that make sense? So I'm looking at the process. And I said, so did the process all go into long-term memory? They said it had to do with getting caught into the manipulation. I couldn't see the manipulation. I says, well, what do you need to do so you can see the manipulation? Is that I have to become compatible? No. I have to stop being so compatible with it. because it was just second nature. I go into that behavior and I don't know it. And I go into the readjust. Tell me more. I'm addicted to this behavior. Shut up. You're addicted to what? The only way to survive is I have to keep creating an expectation and not expectancy. No. Expectation, because the expectation is that I have to do what somebody said. So I said, how many people? One person. So one person said, and there's like, I have to keep doing an expectation. And I says, are you even aware you're doing the expectation? Not really. I wrote this text. I wrote it to survive. I says, tell me more. And they go, yes. I says, show me what you're ready to process. Oh my God. Okay. You know when people scream and they slobber?
Yeah.
You know when they get so angry, you can feel the vibration coming off of them?
Mm-hmm.
Called hysteria.
Mm-hmm.
Your body disconnected. It created a mental anguish. And you want to reconnect with parts of yourself, but it has a picture.
Yeah.
And that picture says, we've done this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's showing me replication. And I says, okay, but you haven't really released it so that it can stop replicating. And they said, but I have to hold the readjust so they can't find me. So they can't get me. That's why
I woke up this morning and I was pissed the fuck off. And I felt this female energy, and this is a female energy I had a past life with that's in my life now. And I've been asking them to show me her. And it's like I'm fighting myself inside because I don't want to know who it is because I don't trust myself.
Hold on. Is that true? No, it's not really true. That's the story, but it's because you haven't been able to peak. And I said, is she ready to peak right now? Ugh. My whole legs are doing that weird thing again. And they said swamp thing. Oh, so okay. Who's in your life that actually speak very resentful, very negative, and it feels like walking in a swamp? You can smell them. I know you can because your nose says, I detect it. Now I'm going to ask, can you peek further? They said, no, you have to actually literally take care of the habitual fear before you allow that to lift. And so this is where you're going to have to, like, L3S is what they said, because your will is not your own. Your willpower is to keep you alive, but it keeps going over here to keep it alive. And they said, in order to get the will back, you have got to notice that, wow, because now I'm getting like, oh, hold on. Do you have a relationship? Oh, my whole body. Do you have a relationship with somebody that likes to have superiority?
I know exactly who it is.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Now the diamonds that you had,
Mm-hmm.
you apparently you've had something that had to do with coal, but it's pressed enough. Now you have diamonds. So that means you're ready to reflect something different. I says to help them get their power back. They said you're also going to hold L1S because you are so done listening to the manipulation game to get you to sympathize.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to win you on their side. You got to wake up to that, because when you do, you're going to take your power back.
Yeah, this one person even asked me if I had Herkimer diamonds because she knew I did.
And the way she asked it, she was kind of asking for it to some degree. And you knew it too. Oh, look at that. Feel it. Shit bricks. Yeah, since that would hurt. Cancel, clear, delete. Oh. Okay. Start recognizing when you start to fall and say, thank you, Spirit. Go heal. Because when you get caught up into it, it's like the way they, you know, how when people vibrate in a negative way,
Yeah.
they vibrate in a very love way and hoping to say, look at this, Linda.
It's exactly that.
And they want you to heal the glamour. I said, is there any way you want her to, yeah, L1S, because you know what love is. And now you can, one of the things that love does is releases the fear. And this here is a love as a weapon. If you release the fear, you're going to have to be okay with losing a friend, a family, or whatever. But you also have to understand is that you're going to mess up their world, their reality, and they're going to have to throw a tantrum. But guess what? You've got kids, Linda.
Yeah.
You already know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're a grown ass. A tantrum's a tantrum, and you don't have to fall for it.
Yeah.
You already know that part. Because you know that part, you can apply that part. That makes them no different. Shrinky dink them down if you have to in picture and size. Take their energy and make it small. Okay? They're just one of your kids. If you really think about it, just you don't have to fall for it. And those are meant to be your Herkimer diamonds. Just so you know, they're part of a bigger project you got going on. I mean, I see a grid that you're using with. Do not let anybody have them. They were given to you, or they found their way to you, not for somebody else's pocket. You'll know when something's supposed to go somewhere else. These aren't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much for letting me play. I've had fun.
Always.
I'm going to keep looking forward to this. All right. Bye-bye, dear.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Oh, wow. That's a journey. I like it a lot. Okay. I definitely could say that. Yeah. Oh, we are traveling for sure. Let me get my seatbelt on. All right. Oh, let's see. It's amazing. I know I leveled up. They told me I was leveling up, and I kind of like it. The transmissions, they're getting more technical sounding, so I have to make sure I always keep it human sounding. Oh, there she is.
Hey, Neil.
Hello. Okay, are we ready?
They prepared me because they got me sitting here with a lot of stones and specific ones and 3 of my dragons. So
okay. Oh, you know what? I feel like the representation of a dragon has always been my life, but I also believe in rising like the phoenix. That's part of the tribal symbol. And I actually saw a yin and yang, black obsidian, yin and yang shape dragon on one side, phoenix on the other. And I'm like, I think I gotta make that. I don't know why I need to bring that up to you, but I have a feeling that we have a whole other relationship on a deeper level, and like, yeah, we know.
we do, and they want me to show you something that I've been drawing since I've come. Okay, stay here. Since I started watching.
At least I'm not the only one that flies off. Oh, yummy. My goodness, yes. Okay, so I see a bunch of stairs. There's a lot to do with just the steps. Okay, so however this goes, we don't know. All I know is that I woke up, or no, actually I went to bed and I said, hey, can I get on that ship of healing? Yes, I intentionally asked. Because I have a lot of memories. Linda and I have talked about this. I've had a lot of memories of going to like the ashrams, all of these healing centers, and because I'm supposed to master the physical. Yes.
Travel and projection.
Okay. That's, yeah, that would make sense. All right, what's going on? The time has come. Okay, so you have to have more clear intention now. They said, when you start to really focus on a clear intention, they want you to, I feel like there's columns. So you're ready to do a very, just pay attention to that. Now I'm at the control, I don't know who I am, but I am definitely looking through their eyes and I'm typing. I mean, I'm really but it's not typing, the keyboard's not the same. It's energetically moves. There's something to do it. I see a lot of frequency controls, a lot of frequency controls, a lot of frequency controls. So you're on the edge of, so I don't know if you had a transmission or going to get a transmission, but again, you're creating more, like the right side of your body is creating more of a light print when you start walking and leaving places. You're keeping it, you're giving off a frequency print. Okay. And the reason they're saying more on the right, because that's more of the yang, more of the assertive, the more, so you're kind of leaving new codes. It's not the same code. It's like different fingerprint every time. So every time where you walk, there seems to be that you're actually, instead of drawing a code, you're walking and implanting a code, because you are responsible for a certain amount of, now I feel like I'm in a bubble, but it's not a bubble. It's just in a whole new world. Okay, so you're helping to carry in one part of the frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of the type of person that Earth is the type of person that's supposed to be standing here, but not really being amongst all that. I don't know what teddy bears. I just got a bunch of teddy bears. Okay, so I got a bunch of teddy bears, so I don't know what those are about. Teddygrams. Now I got to, so okay. So does one of your kids like to want snack? I keep hearing snack. Okay, hold on. I gotta figure what this is about. Oh, it's one of your, okay, I don't know how many kids you got. I just know there's a boy. I remember a boy. Okay. He if you listen to him sometimes, he actually reads code. He's actually telling you code.
Yeah, yes, he does.
Okay. So he says, hold on. You're the only one that gets me, Mom. Okay. But okay, don't get me wrong. I don't know exact words, but he, if you put him next to another child, you could tell there's a difference between the way the behaviors are. Okay. So he's not quite.
He has Down syndrome.
Thank you. Okay. Because I didn't know. Okay. So pay attention. Not you, me. Okay. So now the thing is that he is completely, don't take this wrong, folks. I just can't find the right translation.
Okay.
Him and her on another planet, he doesn't have Down syndrome at all.
No.
But in order for him to be here, she has to work on the physical aspect of something that has to do with the mental and emotional of the heart. So he came in carrying a high frequency, but it has to show up looking like that.
Yeah.
But heart to heart, see, I don't know how to explain this next part, because I know what it's like to be on the ship. You can sit here, talk, be like this, and a part of your consciousness is there. You two are on another plane altogether.
Yeah.
Like that movie Bliss. Did you watch it?
I did.
So you understand the virtual type thing, right?
Yep.
Now you understand what I'm referring to, like, because that's kind of like what I'm seeing what you're doing. So you're here, but you're not really.
I'm in many places.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes. And he's your little travel buddy.
He is.
Now, interesting enough, he's not that age when you go to other places.
No, he's very.
Okay. You understand? And he's got a deeper voice, man. Really. But again, here, he's supposed to hold the code, but also talk the code. There's something about the code. So he's like the keeper of the code of something. So it's like, don't lose the key. Okay. Now, you have had a fear really recently, or in the past, there's something about a fear that you might lose the code or lose the key. So are you afraid that you may have lost him or you're going to lose him? Is this a past thing?
It's a past thing.
Okay. And I feel like the body feels like it wants to keep, like, it's ongoing, like, pop goes the weasel shit, hold on. Okay, now we're really doing something else, because the core of you is developing. So we need to pop the curtain. That's not the correct word. I know. So, the third eye, the pine cone, the crystal needs to be activated.
Yes. Yeah.
They said that you're going to have to do it's a yoga breath. Dispenza teaches it also. And basically okay, let me see if I can get this. I don't remember the name of the breath, but you have to hold the 3 parts.
Yeah.
Oh, you already know. Okay, so it goes the hui yen, the belly button, and then the diaphragm. So you do a Kegel up, belly button to the back of your spine, and this here, you suck it up. Okay, yeah. But I can't remember how the breath goes, except for I think it's as you're breathing in, you're holding it up, and you hold your breath, and then you put pressure on that pine cone, and then all of a sudden you let it out, and you do that several times, and you do this as an active breath. And what will happen is it'll start putting your brain and open that crystal up. Once you start to tap into that crystal, if you do it in a great meditation, you're going to go gamma.
Yeah. They're meant they want me to start talking like language.
I was gonna say, I ain't gonna be talking English.
I have been saying all day crystalline, 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 and my right side of my body, I have been feeling, it's very physical for me. I feel every download and every activation. So it's a little numb on the right side.
Okay, so you get that. So understand is that when we go to do this, that's what they're telling me to do. All right, so in order to correct that, we're going to say on the right side, you're going to use your hand or the magnet. What you're going to do is that we're going to take, what do you want to do with the first one? The first one's going to be the liver, so the body starts processing the toxins, so the nerves can start to feel release. They want you to remember the left side only. Start to use that magnet or your hand on both sides, and then you're going to rub it 30 times. The other one is going to be on the small intestine. The karate chop point. Again, make sure that you open it up, rub it in. Now, once you start to get the right side to be activated, then you got to make sure the 2 halves. So you're going to have to start doing Wayne Cook. The Wayne Cook posture, you know that one? And start doing this, because once you get up here, they said that you can even hold the crystal if you want, but it is the activation of making sure that your heart and your triple worm and your pericardium and your large intestine and your lung are all touching, because you're going to touch this very much pituitary activating point.
Yeah.
Now, the reason you need to do the Wayne Cook first is so you can start balancing the 2 halves. Once you do this, then when you do this, don't be surprised. You can start doing that particular part of the breathing. And I keep seeing a crystal. And what's going to happen is I think you're going to start to stimulate this. They said you could also take, because it is a little frozen, is to take your magnet, do this right here. Okay. And then they want you to start to stimulate this point. Just literally go in there. And okay, sure, mess with my hair. Okay. So you make sure, because there's a gallbladder point right above the eye, right in the middle, both sides. So stimulate those as well. Just get in there and go, oh, yeah. Because the gallbladder and the small intestine, they have a lot to do with your making decisions. Okay. And so your physical body is like, no. Okay. Your spirit's part of you is like, yes. And your mental emotional is like, oh my God, we got so many programs. So we have so much going on. That we got to get the body to start being a better receiver and not to feel burdened, because you got to prepare your nerves. They said also get the ping. Well, that's why I said it just before you come on. Ask them for the ping. Go to the healing room and say, do you want to go to the crystal? The healing room. Just go to the healing. Apparently I have one on your ship. Oh, I do? Oh, okay. Well, when you meet me, say hi. Apparently I've been waiting for you too. Anyways, go there, because there's something to do with the ping, and then there's like, as my one friend said, it feels like a shot. But it's supposed to help activate something there. So you need a vitamin K shot type thing. Just that's what they're referring to, not in real life, but just, you know what I mean?
I don't pull this crystal out often.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare that I pull this out, and I keep it in my sacred space. And I've been holding it since before, and it's a form of labradorite, but it's called Galactic.
Oh. You got a picture?
It's called Galactic. And if you look very closely at it, it looks like there's a galaxy in there, and it
Oh,
has to
you
do
could.
with,
Oh, that camera's not doing justice. You're gonna have to send me a
no,
picture.
yeah, I'll send you a picture. But they have me remember that there is a crystal in my third eye.
Yeah, and it has the code, but you blocked it. Well, you just have to go visit me.
Yeah.
Or visit they said, apparently I'm waiting for you. Because you're missing, like, what a vitamin K shot, they give it to a child that helps with the coagulation of the blood and all of this. And there's something apparently you need in order to do the connection.
What is going on here? Before you started, I was sitting and they said, start drinking your water, Linda. They made me go and get my vitamins for my immunity support. And I sat
Yes.
here, I took my vitamin. They have me sitting here taking a whole bunch of shit.
You need to go there. You need just go to the healing ashram. Just go there. I'll be waiting for you.
Okay.
Oh, I'll be excited to know about this one.
Me too.
Oh my God. If I hadn't got the experience that I had before, I would think that we were nutcases.
Yeah.
But I would have been petrified if it had been an ego, but none of this phases me. It's like, yeah, it's second nature here.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it on camera.
The more people know and the more people see, the more people will awaken to their connection.
Exactly. This is why
So.
I know that I have to, I'm all vulnerable, but not in the way that it has to be fearful. Yeah. Stand as me. And that's what I'm going to do. And same for you, stand as you. But I get where you're supposed to, you're like the decoder. No, not code, not a D. You are, no. Wow, you're the creator. Like I am like the Akashic Records helper that helps you create your Akashics, heal your Akashics, do all of that, close books, open books. You're the one that helps put in I don't know how else to explain it. You're like the foundation that helps create the record, so then I can help people do Oh, it's so exciting because you know what? We're so done. We're finished with that. That's the knowing. I know that they were supposed to wake up. This is so exciting. It's just not awakening, folks. It's so much more than this. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you that I know Miss Jennifer Margaret is ready to stand up, but she's like, but I don't know how to stop being so ego. You're going to get there, girl. Yeah. You are going to get there because I can feel her. I can feel it. And you're my first real live person. There was somebody that I thought, because they had impressed that they talk to all, they are ultra spiritualists. They can say it and do it. They just can't get out of the ego. And to really do what it is, whatever we're supposed to do, is to transform that aspect. Yeah, because we were programmed to not remember our abilities and our power and our connectedness to up there. But we are now in a new level of consciousness that there are drivers, there are people like you and me that, we know now, and know we have to step up. Yeah. So I'll have to tell you about the lie. Oh, no, not right now. Anyway, we're on the show. Got to go to the next part. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on, and congratulations on winning. And thank you for everything. And we will, I knew I was going to be talking to you today. I knew at the moment I woke up and I was like half asleep going to take a pee. I got to tell Linda something. And I washed my hands and it's like, wait, what? Oh, well, I love this. All right, kiss your little boy. Well, I will. Growing up, but anyways, kiss him so that make sure you kiss him right on the third eye so you can activate more. Excellent. Yeah, he loves that. All right, bye, honey. Love you. Yes, thanks for the loves. Thank you for the stars. Thank you. Thank you. Spirit thanks you. All right, let's find out what they geared me up for today. This is exciting. This whole new adventure with Linda here is, yeah, they got me prepared. I knew you walked into the room. Okay, so thanks for the pay it forward. And how can I help you?
Ooh, well, maybe they can tell me why the downloads have been very hard today.
Because it's Morse code. The first thing they're showing me is Morse code. It's different. You're learning a different language, or it's a language that you knew, but it's like Morse code. And I said, tell me more. And they said, well, the Morse code had to be played with because the core part of you, this is why when we were talking in the beginning with Kevin and all of them, it's been really affecting people. So let me talk about these source codes for you. You have a habitual fear. Okay, so you're doing the readjust too. So that must be part of it. We're going to get rid of those. Habitual fear. Just give me a second because my head feels like it's split wide open and I got a headache. I feel like I've had to take care of this wound and it's not going away. I feel like as soon as the wound starts, I don't think it's you, but you know when you pick at scabs?
Yeah.
It just doesn't go away. So it's like you want it to be remembered so that you will not go back into behavior. So in the dynamics of the archetype is the pimp and the hoe. So I feel like here's the dynamics. In order for you not to have other people put their dream into your head, you would just keep taking and picking at this thing that they caused on you. So you're like, nope, gonna keep remembering this. And so that way you can look back at it going, that's why I'm not there. That's why I know. So it's kind of saved you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So because of that, it's part of your interference with the source code that's coming through the solar. Okay. Again, going back to the head. I'm going back to the head. Okay, I can't stop shaking my head. Hold on. I can't believe this. So there was something you couldn't believe. I just couldn't believe it. I can't believe this. I couldn't believe it. I can't believe it. So it's something that you couldn't process through that you were just shocked over and over. I can't believe this. Have you done that in your life? I can't believe this.
Yeah, recently.
Recently. Okay. So this is why they're having me do this. It's like my nerves are saying, what? No. Yes, no. And okay, can we stop doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. If you don't move, it'll be intense. So sometimes can you not sit still properly? Okay. All right. Did you find me on the Galactic team? Nope, apparently not. Huh?
Like, did I find you?
Yeah, I'm on the ship somewhere. I have my own room. Seriously, I'm on the upper deck somewhere. I don't know how to explain it.
I will find you.
Oh, the reason you can't find me is because of habitual fear. Hold on. Okay, stop it. Jesus, it's making me nauseous. Hold the pillar of thoughts. Okay, is that what I'm doing? Okay, so I'm holding this pillar of thought. Okay. Your emotional body knows incompatibility with the storyline. They're talking about a storyline because I asked if it's a person, place, or thing. They go, no, it's the storyline. Your emotional body has this relationship with the storyline, and it's a very incompatible. Okay, so we're talking about past. I see a person. I see past with a man. Past with, so it's the before you got to who Linda is today. Very lofty. Were they kind of big? What kind of smell? Oh, that's not a pretty smell. Very distinct frequency. Or it's not that it stinks. Why am I having to experience that? Oh, because your nose is hooked into when he's, oh, all right. When he would start to act like Hitler, not like Gandhi. I'm sorry, these are the very strong words they're using. It would put off a distinct smell just before it was coming, and you already knew how to react, and you haven't been able to figure out how to stop that reaction because it's been quiet. You have not had these people around, you haven't had these signatures around, but your body says, you didn't really heal it, Linda, but it's time. So let's start off with the emotional body, because your spirit body is saying, I am so over-identified with that reaction. Okay, so now we got more specific. You know what I'm talking about. You know what reaction you would go into, yes? Okay, let me see if you're there 100%. Yes, that it would make your body tremble. Okay, so now I'm going to ask the emotional body, tell me more. It has to do with relationships. So it's about communication and relationships. And it's like you were taught that you had to put a mask on, you had to hide. So the true Linda could never come out, because if you did, then the Hitler would show. But it's like, even so you, oh, wow, you were really trained. You're trained. I'm sorry, but you were trained.
Oh, no.
Okay, so now all I can hear is you were desperate. You were desperate to have, this goes way back. You have an alarm that was constantly going off around 4 years old, and you felt like you were always cursed, and you went into this thing where you couldn't resolve, which means you could not find an answer to save your life. So it was the outside that saw your vulnerability and told you how to survive, and then you become dependent. Not because you really wanted to, because you didn't want to learn. It was you're forced to be dependent.
Yeah.
It's like the learned helplessness. Oh, hold on. Fudge bit. Ah. Okay, this incompatibility. I feel like my nerves want to torque. Wants to create a Tourette. Hold on, I don't get it. Just I don't even want to watch this video back. There's something about incompatible. You even lost all of your obviously the ability to speak was not there. If that's it, so be it. Oh, bitch whore. I'm sorry. You're holding all of these nasties in there.
Yeah. And you're picking up on the energy that I've been feeling all day, and I've been going through this, and it's been taking me past.
All right,
L1. Relationship is the word that came up, and vulnerability today was another thing that came up, because I need to be vulnerable and I need to get rid of these.
Yep.
I claim myself. I want to be myself and not be in what.
Yeah, it's creating that independence. The thing is that little part of you. So your little is wet in her pants, sitting in the corner, crunched up. But she's okay. So you know how little kids hide in the corner in a very scared position. But you went from little to a teenager, and you had this thing all over you that you're not supposed to see what life's supposed to be like, because you're like, I'm scared because of the little. So people helped paint it. They took the pen and they wrote your movie for you. But then that got worse. And so a part of and as an adult says, how can I stop that? Now, you've had some experience of being able to have independence, take care of yourself, because one of the things that helped is that when you became a mother, you become mama bear. So these instinctual things that we're afraid of just comes popping out saying, you've got this. We'll move mountains. If I can pick up a car and throw it, we'll do it. I mean, the confidence is there. The thing is that really gets you is words, energy, smells. One of the things is something out of sympathy. It's like they have to lull you into a very particular way so that if they can get you to do something out of sympathy, do you understand?
Yeah,
because,
and it
okay,
nauseates me now because I can see it
okay,
clearly and I'm trying to,
yes. And so you're going to end up doing, let me see, what do you want her to do? Well, right now you're learning that the self-preservation has to be addressed because that's what all you did as little, because you didn't know how to survive. So you did self-preservation. So the body tried to force you to, okay, we have to do this and this and this because we can't do it ourselves. So you're going to have to do R3D. At the same time, you're going to have to look at the jealousy. If you were to grow, you already know that, any independence, any of this, got to keep you back into form. And then you're going to do L1S because you are having to anticipate, be something out of sympathy. And you're like, but I don't want to do this. I said with the emotional body, how do we want to get it to really go? R1D, you really are going to have to calculate this one. Get your darn journals out. Every time you overcompensate, you said something and all of a sudden you get that twang from them. So then you have to recorrect your words, or all of a sudden their body gesture, and all of a sudden you find yourself out cooking a meal saying, here. Yeah. Notice that this is automatic programming and you need to bust it.
yeah.
But you got to see it. Once you start to see it, you'll then be able to feel it. And it'll be a compulsion. And when you're ready to do this, then you can start doing R1D. When you really start to get it, and you're going to find it in all these little tiny things, through your kids, through yourself, through people, through.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
I
because
have
yours are stacked.
seen
Yours
it
are
more
stacked.
the past
What's
couple of
that?
days. I've been noticing a lot more the past couple of days because I woke up this morning, I was chipper, but there was a frustration in me and everything was agitating me. And I was sitting here and I was like, why the fuck is everybody pissing me off?
Now it says interesting. As soon as you said it, this pink, usually I don't associate pink, but you got this pink cloud that's hovering like at this width. It comes out and it's like it's pink though, and it's why is it pink? Because there's a lot of injustice going on. This is very old because it's not even touching the thought process and you're being aware of it. But this pink cloud that you haven't let go of, and it has to do with that impending doom or habitual fear. They said that at least you were aware that it was pissed. Everybody was pissing you off. And they said, but that was you that said, I have to act mean because I think that, oh, were you forced to have to act mean because somebody pimped you to do that?
Mm-hmm.
You're willing, you're getting ready to face it, to release that one. And I said, is there any point at this? Not at this point. You're supposed to learn discernment. And if you can't, EFT will be your best friend.
Okay.
Because it's like affects one side and then it affects the other. And so you'll end up chasing it down. But if you end up tapping both sides at once and you go through the routine, I think you'll start knocking it all out of the ballpark. Okay.
Whew, okay. Yeah.
All right. Yes. And then as soon as you get past this particular fear, I'm up on the upper deck somewhere.
Okay. I'll find you.
You know. Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. To know how you know it. Now I'm going to take a breather for just a second here and look at it. Linda is next. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this real quick. Yes, I should have known Linda's coming on. Let's just tap on that bladder of mine. And then when you get in there, there's nothing. That just makes me laugh. Okay. It's so funny because it just snuck on by. I didn't even realize, because I said, please don't give me that sign. And yet they still, apparently it's one of the requirements. I have to make sure all of whatever was in me before is out. That's funny. Oh. Okay. And we will go into breathing, relaxing. Now, just so you guys understand, when it comes to Linda, she operates in a whole different field. And now I'm actually feeling like it's like a beam me up Scotty feeling. That's funny. Mm. I literally can feel my nerves, like the transformation. It's kind of weird. Oh my God. Oops, hold on. So just unmute that real quick. So I really feel like I'm beaming up right now, and I can feel, yeah. They said, well, we know you're on that planet over there, but just wormhole your way over here. That'd be fine. Now I'm in such a different space. I'm like this mellow yellow. So how can I help you?
Listen, I did anytime that I'm having a reawakening, my whole body has some serious convulsions. No, I don't have seizures. It's just I'm so empathic that it physically affects me. And I was in the bathroom and I slept in the bathroom half naked because my body was going through all these activations and downloads and a lot of shit was happening.
All right, so let's look at it this way. I now understand why Nikki was there we had to do that because the 4 ingredients to life. Okay, we're going to look at the physical. The physical avatar says this is how I have to be. So I'm going to look at have to be, because you just went to a have to be experience, and I said, did you really need to do it? No. So let's look at why it happened. They said 4 years old, and there is an emotional chemical dump that said I have to run from. So the nerves were carrying this lofty energy. So the different energy that was coming in, it said, no, we don't have room for that. This is why they always make me pee just prior to coming to talk. I get it now. Because last week I said, can you just find another way? And I didn't catch it until I went in the bathroom and I realized, oh, Lynn's coming on. So your nerves need to be prepared. If you're not, and you try to connect up with certain things, you will get what's called a burned out experience with your nerves, or an awakening that can be very abrupt, like Linda just said. So I'm looking, and we're going at 4 years old. We're going to see where that lofty is. So it's in the heart, in the right side. We're just going to come over to the heart, and we're going to start taking and using your hand or your magnet, whichever you choose to do. Wow. We are, okay, I'm just going to explain this for Linda's sake. It's really interesting. We're in some chamber room healing because I zoomed in the tube, you're in a tube in front of me, and we're keeping our germs and everything separate. So it's kind of very interesting. So I feel like this is a healing room. But as I'm doing this, it is done the entanglement effect. So what I'm doing, you're doing, it's simultaneously. There's nothing that's different. So now I'll give it a good old rub. Get in there and rub that spot. Oh, now we got pink energies. Woo, baby, it's like pink dust. I like this. Oh, it's only you. I'm not getting any. She's getting it. Okay, so she's getting that pink healing. I'm getting gold dust. Oh, I'm not sure what that's about. Oh, I'm getting new information. Aha. Oh, I'm getting
That's why they have me wearing this today.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, that makes sense. See, right now I'm just regathering. Don't try to talk when these energies come in. Tourette's? Yeah, you don't need that. Especially when swearing is the only thing that can come out. That's funny. There we go. Right side, stomach. Well, let's go down to the stomach. Follow that toe, second toe, to the flat point just before the curve, and give that a good magnetic, and then rub that. I probably should turn the timer on. Oh God, I can't even think.
Ooh,
they really get me good with. No, they don't get me. I volunteered. This is how we speak, so it's not a big deal, people. So.
No, my head is zinging.
My head. Woohoo. Better. Whole body is like going. Do you notice my colors in my face changed? Is that why I'm wearing peachy today? Hold on. Okay. My cerebellum in my back and my brain is like, feels like something's unlocked.
Yeah.
Oh, is there any other? Now I'm gonna look. Oh, got me new ears pierced. Sorry, I'm in the other side. I didn't get pierced. She got pierced. She's got a new piercing over there. Oh, so talk about something very specific on the ear. I don't have my auricular pages. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's okay. It doesn't matter. All right. So they said now to help you understand, your body is starting to download safety codes. Being physical, the body says, you mean I don't have to be that? No. So now I'm going to ask, does your body have to feel that lofty energy anymore? And they said, we have to take it off the nerves a little bit more because now it's between action and habit. So that compulsion aspect and then the habit. And they said that you're learning how, as a human, to trust your higher consciousness because you've kind of trusted your, I feel like you've kept yourself separate. Like I'm a star seed, I'm an alien, I've kept myself separate from my natural essence. They said, no, now you can really get hooked up to that. The only thing that was stopping you was because the outside enemy or the energy of thinking of one that was. Okay, so the lofty in this case, where do you want her to go? Your body's recalibrating. This is what's happening. You're downloading a silver right now in your tube, and that tells me that the yin is starting to communicate, and then hopefully the yang will start picking up in a minute. Okay. Do you pull people that are jealous to you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's part of the lofty. Is these people get very jealous, and then you know how you. All right, let's try this again. Bippity bop boop boop. You know how you know what jealousy, lofty energy is, and you shouldn't control you as much as it did before. Before, it was in a very traumatic aspect, and the essence of who you are and the starseed of who you are. All of a sudden, I'm going very elfy right now. Elfish.
Okay.
I'm going very elfish. I don't know if that has any help for you.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, we have earthies. Earthies. Is that what we're going to call you guys? Because you have not been able to be grounded since 4 years old, you're starting to connect with a different ground. So now my eyes feel like they want to bug out, but yet they don't. They're like, I don't need to be that change that much shape. Okay. So let me look at this lofty. It's coming down. It's a 3. But the power of a curse. The power of a curse is what the hell? So somebody can laugh and throw out meanness, and it gets confusing. It's like, seriously? Okay, hold on. I feel like Wizard of Oz. Give me a moment. Okay, my tube just lifted up. Okay, I get to walk around. You're still in your tube. You're looking at me like, okay, where's she going? I said, just a minute. I'm looking for a crystal. Oh, you know that blue stargazer you got? The one that looks like galaxy? Get your galaxy stone. Somehow you're going to need to hold up to your thymus because it has a code. It has a code. It has a code. And the code, you're getting reassigned to a new job. I feel like because you're starting to, your nerves can handle this, at least that starseed part of you. All right, okay, that's not the answer because you're still in the tube. I'm supposed to find, what am I looking for? All right, I'm saying that's gibberish, but get my ego out of the way. I feel like you're going to a different planetary system because that their nerves need to be repaired. Something needs to be repaired there. Now that you know how to do something, yep, because your tubes just lifted open. Okay. So now the scientist part of you, you know that. Now she's coming over to talk to me. I mean, that's you, but I mean, she goes, that was the piece I was looking for. So now you know, because you're holding up a key, is it a representation saying, I'm looking for this key? And we're kind of noticing that this part of your path is aligned. And I said, well, what does that mean on Earth standards? Because she's here. And they said, well, in this case, you're going to start noticing that your mental health should start to improve. And they said, when you start to take the right part of your eye, which is a construction zone, and start checking it in with your higher self, okay, versus the lofty energy, you'll start to realign the three burners, the lower, the middle, and the upper. And which means you're starting to use your gut intuition with your heart and with your coherence of your brain. So then you're starting to more, that's your way of saying that you're waking up a lot more. Excellent. Which means, so when you start to notice that when you're rehashing something in the right brain, you'll say no, you'll look over to your left, and then you'll look within to be able to just start to notice you don't have to over-identify with matter. Literally, your body should start to release it. Oh, well, shit, you just grabbed the papers, you said bye, you gave me a kiss, and you just took off. So apparently you're on your next adventure, but your body does not look like it has to go like it did earlier.
Oh, yeah, no. And keys. I have a big collection of keys since I'm young.
Good. Now you'll understand, they'll start making sense. They said, when you start feeling a great big download, go ahead for your heart. Make sure you use your magnet real quick on both sides of your heart and then give it a good rub, maybe a couple rounds of that, and you let you help your heart start communicating with that communication, not just with the way the heart brain coherence, but your intellectual spiritual brain, you know, that higher part. And then it'll come down to the gut, and the gut will say, oh, I'm grounded, because we had that piece that you just did with that stomach. You're now able to do work with the earthies. Earthies, that's what you guys are going to call it, whatever. Okay. The earthies. But you know what I mean. It's whatever, because there's so many levels of it. It's just
yes, there is.
Grounding. It's more than grounding. You're going to talk to all of us. So you have a lot of new communication with the that's why Elfie, earthies. Okay. I'm not dumb. I'm just catching up. It's hard to be in like 3 different places at once, people. It's not hard. It's easy. It's just that you got to get your brain to accept what you're saying. Oh, watch out for the toys, the imaginary toys, because that's how they're finding a way to communicate with you. So it's hilarious because they're saying, okay, don't step on me. Here's some stuff here. Now, won't even be anything there. You may feel like you stepped on a Lego, but there's nothing there. It's their way of trying, you've already had this experience, I take it. Something about tripping.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how they're trying to communicate. And I said, can you find a nicer way to talking to her? And they said, only if she listens.
Yeah. And my first form here in dense form was Elvin. So yeah, I know. I'm a listen, because they're tripping me all the time. And
yep, my ears are not as elvish as much anymore, but hey, I'm back. It's always fun to be on an adventure with you. That was a good experience. And now I get blue dust. Ooh, I don't know what that is, but I'll take it. And I'm not even in the tube, people.
You'll figure it out.
Oh, it's like the blue diamond. It's like, oh, well, I have my diamonds. I must be getting more discernment, because all of a sudden I just saw the crystal of my top diamond and my bottom diamond starting to rotate. Ooh. Oh, we're down to the tetrahedron. We're down to, hold on. Ooh, yeah, let's work on these geometrical shapes. Absolutely. I'm in a whole nother world. Hey, I got a show to do, people. We can do this after the show. Just
anytime, I'm here.
Oh, I see what they're doing. They're getting me ready for the next person I'm supposed to have in my space. Gotcha. Okay. Love you too, babe. Love the adventure, and thank you for the paper. We'll talk soon. Okay, bye. Oh my God, that is so fun. Yeah, see, now they're round. I don't know if you got to see it or not, but they were showing. I mean, I was like, yeah, now they're back. The whoosh back is really interesting. Oh, wow, my body's like going, that was a trip. It's like a really hard exercise, because of suddenly you sweat. This isn't a hormone sweat. This is a different type of sweat. Oh my God, I'm going to need a big fat air conditioner in here if I'm going to keep doing all these trips. All right, I got to get my mindset. Which one's going to happen? Let's go. Oh, the energies are amazing. new codes that are coming from the galactic, the energy from the earth is translating those codes. There's so much going on. Wonderful. And there is Linda. Oh, yeah. We didn't have to unmute. We usually have to go through all that. Okay, excellent. So they are really making the presence of that energy to be in hits the root chakra, and it's like, so does that do it to you too?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like weird. This time I was like, no, do I really have to go to the bathroom? No. Oh yeah, okay, good. I'm becoming more aware. That's how you train yourself intuitively, is notice the things that pop up, and don't explain them away with ego, because yeah, you're not going to learn. But if you just listen, okay, how can I help you?
I don't know. I'm all over the place today. I'm here, but I'm like more in like it's just melodies and sounds in my.
Okay, do me a favor. Take and just put your hands together and cross your ankles and just sit there. And, so just make sure you flop and grab. And, sometimes other people are like, what do you mean, Just sit there for a moment, because I feel like you're firing your water, or, well, not firing water. The wood and the fire, the elements in you are not communicating properly. I feel like, those elements are like, yeah, I'm wiping my own ass out. It's not that she's using too much fuel. It's just that I'm just looking at her Merkaba body, okay? All I'm seeing is that she's got all these lines and they're crisscrossing, and I just feel like what's happening is they're not reading right. That's why I'm having her do this. And this is to help explain to her and to the audience. Oh, see, now my head feels... It's good and bad. I'm not sure what to think about it. It's like, ooh. You're downloading a song.
Yeah.
Okay, so part of your soul song's coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's going down your 10th dimension, or the spine. You got it going down. Your nerves are. Oh God. While you're doing that, they told me to tell you is that. Okay, so as soon as I hear fear of being, and then I'm jumping on the ship, I'm now with you as the scientist self. You're showing me a book, you're going, oh, but this is where she's running from her issue right here. And I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. I know I've got to use my alien eyes. I don't know, spaceship eyes. I don't know, that's not it either. They want me to tattle on you. Oh, seriously. You know how I don't like that. Do you worry a lot?
All the time.
Okay, the question is, why do you need to? Because that investment is keeping you from seeing the whole self. Yeah. They said that human is just following patterns that are not really serving you anymore. You are such a strong woman. You're not just a victim warrior anymore. You've actually started to rise. So that means your level of consciousness is now, I don't need to be a victim. I got that. I don't have to be here either. I got that too. But it's the habits of worrying, and that's what we call love. They said you're going to have to start to recognize it. Switch hands, go the other way. Switch ankles, go the other way. Okay, now where am I at? I don't have no clue, but they said, oh, you're on a slab. I'm on a slab, or is she on a slab? What do we got here? Don't say the word slab, because that's worry and fear. Aha, mixing confused signals. Defining words, because if you take certain words, it'll make you worry. But if you redefine them, why do you need to worry? Because we don't have enough information. All right. Everything's silent now. And it's like, I feel inefficient when it's too quiet. So the worry is the radio and the TV set that's on in the background. Okay, do we need that on? Pick a different station.
Yeah. No, I don't need it on. And
They
that's
said
why
that you had to have that. You had to have that. You had to have that at 2 years old because you had to tune out. You had to tune grandma. You had to tune out grandma. You had to tune out somebody because their energies was okay. Not hey, this is my emotions. No, this is their space. What they were doing, and it was coming out energetically. You read them and you thought, worry, that's who I am. No. Okay. They're frequencies, they're energies that are not, they're there, but not something to say as that's my identity. So then the question becomes with your teenage selves, 14, you go, who would I be without that? And so you did let it go and you let everybody else take care of your responsibilities and you didn't want to worry anymore. The only problem is now you're under the thumb. There's actually more worries. All right, so you really had to go to extreme, girl. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I got it. Oh, we're gonna do some more tattling apparently. It's part of what your soul wanted to understand with vulnerability. Okay, it was the pain of vulnerability on that kaleidoscope of perspectives, but vulnerability of where I'm at is that you can be you without pain. To show your true self. Okay. And then they said, now let's go back to when you were 2 years old. All right. Just like I had told that other woman. When you have relationships on this planet, we do something called discipline. And because we're at this level that you either do as I say or you get punished, you sacrifice your authentic self. Yeah. And you go to an attachment and then they have to set all the rules. You did not want to let go of this form of love because even if it's not a pretty love, it still was a love. It was still part of how you could identify to be human. Okay. Now you got older and you're like, F the people, F this, F that. You're like, I'll be my head in my space because that's my true nature. Now the physical body is saying, but we still need to have the avatar communicate with the real world. They go, that's not really a good word, but it is to vibrationally. Why do we have a Texan present? I have no idea. But it's these emotions that get the best of you. Yeah. And the emotions are meant to poke and prod. So she'll take action. She needs to wake up from that. Oh, hold on. Okay, so that's the addiction. Okay, so there's the incident and then the addiction. The addiction is what takes care of the incident. But if you can't see the incident, the addiction is going to scream. And the addiction in this case is that, do you hold grudges or do you see people around you hold grudges?
I see people around me hold grudges.
How do you keep your boundaries? You used to hold your boundaries. Grudge usually means we hold boundaries, but it's in an emotional ego way. So how did you used to do that?
I cut people off. Okay.
And that is a grudge to some degree. Okay. Now you are meant to rise above that. And see, now your brain is so much better. Now do this. Yes, people, that's part of the healing tool. I'm not going to make her scratch her ass and jump around and scream like a monkey. No, just having her hold this is to balance the two parts of the brain. Now, they said when you started to really to get out of the oh yeah, your brain. Okay, that really feels good. All right, she can take her hand down now. But wow, does that send out a signal and a half? Okay. You need to define what worry is. You need to define what grudges are. Notice how you used to do them in the past. And then you have to heal being unafraid to let that go. That's not serving you anymore. You already know that there is no enemy. If you really think about it, yes, there was wars. Yes, there's enemies. But is there really an enemy? No. It's the way we dance with our spirit, the mirrored consciousness. You're getting to that point where you're going to get another epiphany. So as you begin to dance with this, they said you have to, as you begin to notice this habits, these what's part of the morphogenic field, because she's like, there you go again, Linda, with her. She says, oh, that's right. It's the morphogenic field. We got to shut that replicator off. Yeah, that. Yeah. That's what it looks like too. But anyway, morphogenic field. You can change the replication, and you do not need to say that this is how I have to be. Yeah. So again, those 2 points, understand how you did it. Take your power off it. That means heal it out until it's to 0. And the new part of you, because then your song and your code's going to come in, and you're going to be able to rise higher because of those. You understand? And the way that you normally would have reacted won't even be up. It will be, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing that. I'm not. Yeah. The triggers and things will start to just remove.
I feel I've done quite well in a year, because
yes, you have.
My first response would be to punch someone in the face. And now I'm totally, I feel more zen than anything, but I guess I do have to
take care of the root.
Yeah.
So what a difference a year can make. I totally agree. Take who you are. You look back, not and compare yourself to anybody else, but to your timeline. And you have just done that. So you notice the achievement, give yourself those accolades, because then when you start to heal backwards, you won't lose yourself. You will then say, oh, I can define how I used to do it, but it's the emotions. You're starting to notice the emotions. And that's why we're very specific about the grudge and whatever the other word was I gave you. And once you start to feel it and you're using any tool, you're going to start taking the power off of it. And that means you're taking it out of the roots.
Yeah.
And that's where the wisdom comes. She's decluttering herself so that when the song comes in, it'll make her rise higher. Meaning she doesn't have to do it with that. She can do it with that benevolent energy. Okay. And joy flows. And then the people will just start to move itself out of the way, and you just come more aligned. Does that make sense? All right, so you're just fine tuning, and good job on growing in a year, and then because if we stuff it and we try to do the old way, yes, that thing is like, pop goes your shit. Just, we don't need that. So you've worked really hard. You've done really well. Now let's tweak it. Let's get in there and get down deeper, because that coach is like, yeah, see. Yes. All right. I love it. I love it. This is so much fun working with you. I just wanted to let you know that.
I love you. And before I go, there's so many. The book is getting full. It's been 3 days and I've been writing nonstop things. They already have me started on my song.
Well, that song just vibrated so well because I just felt this band of energy.
It's part of the lioness.
I love that. Oh my God, I so love that. Lions. I love lions. Oh, I'm just so excited. Oh, because man, and the reason I can't stop is because I'm seeing all of these download codes and they got different shapes. It's kind of like how I wear these today. I don't know.
And the reason why you feel it so much in your root, it's a lot of Kundalini energy and sacral energy, and a lot of dragons that are coming to help to push it all the way
up. Me happy.
Me too.
I can't. Wish I could just share this with everybody, but I can't. But that's okay. I mean, you know what this is, and that's good. And anybody else that's on that wave, they can pick it up too. I'm doing a show, Brenda. Don't be activating your computer wrong. Okay, but hold on. I'm not quite back from the ship. How do I get, where's the elevator? You're gone. How do I get,
There's no elevator. The elevator's energy.
oop, there goes the wormhole. It's not as shocking. It's not as shocking as it was before that first time. Oh, yeah, here I come back in my
Because
legs.
you've done it before. You just
Yeah,
have
there's
to
my legs.
remember.
It literally is like a wormhole type thing, but it really does feel like you get re-energized. You know, you like dissipate into pixels and you come back into whole. Yeah, and then you have to, like, I got to help my body.
Yep, that's why I have my coconut water right here.
Mhm. And when you drink, you can feel how human the avatar is. And then you can start playing with the hologram again. Because all it is in the end of the day is your brain accepting the fact that it's a hologram and it's real without going, oh my God, I'm losing my shit. Okay, I'm back. You can even tell by my voice. Okay, good. Okay, thank you so much, my dear. Until next time. Do we have a hand symbol? What do we got? I don't know.
Oh, you had me thinking about it there. No. It's this thing that I do, but
I feel like we got something.
it's what is wrong with me? It's this
Hold
thing
on,
that
let me
I
fix the
do.
needle.
It's a thing that I do, but it's the infinity. And there always has to be the infinity in the center.
Yes, here we go. I love that. I love that. I love it. Okay, until next time.
Till next time.
Bye. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I gotta come back. Let me get the link. I've seen her just a second ago. Okay, yeah. I'll tell you in just a second. How interesting. Now, normally when I can feel Linda's in the room, there'll be all this vibration. My body has intrinsically knowing when I am getting ready to communicate or any of this in a certain way. This time it showed up differently. So the vibration says, well, you're getting used to it, but you're also not going there. You're going into a different field. So literally, I feel like I'm already there now. Oh, can we just wait until she gets here? It looks like I'm in a lab. Sitting back waiting for her. I'm like, yeah, I got my coffee. I'm kind of mimicking it to some degree. Oh, I'm so curious of what she's got to say. Here we go. So curious. Oh, hello, my dear. So I'm in a different space. Are we going to be talking about something different?
It's it's very different.
Okay, what I wanted to say was, remember when I said, hey, am I on that ship on the upper deck or whatever? It's not really a ship. I can't, it's a place that we go. I feel like you found me, but you didn't recognize me. Because this is where, okay, so normally I have that different energy field, can tell when I'm aligned, but I'm literally sitting there. Apparently it's the lab because I'm standing back with my back against the thing going, how you doing? And you're like, I'm like, Linda. That's not your name over there. But I'm like, I think I'm recognizing you, but I'm not sure if you're aware of me yet. So I was half expecting you to say, oh my God, I found you.
No. They've had me really, really busy, and I had to go outside before I came to watch because I saw you start the show, but then I had to leave my house because I needed to go and ground because it was pulling me into a very crystalline place, and my body was vibrating very, very high. So I had to go and get my coconut water.
All right, let me look.
Had to
Okay, so this is weird. I got to figure out. I'm in the lab, so just give me a minute. There must be a reason I came here to get something for you. So because we talk in symbols more of anything, geez. I have no idea what this means. They told me they wanted me to help you understand that this starts here and it goes around and then it flew out and then this is like a signature.
Mhm.
I don't know if this means anything for you, but I know you got a response for it somewhere. Because it was sitting on the counter and all right, you're smiling. You're looking for code. Oh, now I'm looking for a chord. You're looking for some way to communicate something. So it's like, oh, I got to do this, or I'm gonna run out of juice. Oh my God! So they're making me feel like I gotta hook. I know this is fully charged, but I was like, I gotta connect in. So there's an urgency of a feeling. And I said, tell me more. And they said, this physical body needs to be charged. And I'm like, oh, you're talking about Linda's physical body? Yes, yes. Okay, so why is it an urgency? Because is it really something we have to be urgent about? No, that's the way we're talking. I said, okay. And now I'm getting back into it. And they said, it's just like that. You're making something harder than you need to. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And they said physically, they said, get that little piece of paper I had earlier for Nicole, get it for you. So what's making it harder is your spiritual body, your energy, your spiritual body. So your morphogenic field keeps producing a particular humanistic frequency that's actually interfering with your ability. Because now the right side of my eye, there was a strange feeling that went across. And that reminds me of that jagged lightning thing I just wrote on the thing. And they're telling me that we're going to have to go to a different route, okay? And use a magnet. No, use your crystal. Ugh, okay, whatever crystal you grab it. We're going to go to the left side. Again, I swear to God, I'm just going to tattoo these things on me. Okay, see that spot? That's where you're going to take your crystal and you're going to rub your crystal on here first. And if you've got a crystal that's got a point on it, and I feel like it's like a, well, that's perfect because I saw it looking like it's gray or dark. And then after you do that, then take the pointer and then just kind of like needle it or poke it. Okay. And then you do that several times. They really want to make sure you understand when you're poking it, just go in. Because this area, this is the small intestine and the meridian in this case, that's the data that's held in the data of which chakra, the 10th chakra, as you bring the 10th chakra down. So one of the theories that I know is that we go 0 to 7, then you bring 8 down to where 0 is, 9 to 1, and 10 to 2. Okay. Your 10th one is stuck in the 7th. And as it, so the Kundalini that's meant to bring the information, you've got one side running and the other side is like, I got no juice. So I can feel the one side of the Kundalini dragon breathing blue ice, where the other side is like, I got no juice. I got no juice. And they're telling me it's the yang, it's got no juice. So as I'm looking at what's making the 10th one freeze, they said it again, it has a lot to do with reality. You kind of run scared, like when you ran out and you had to balance and all of this. And I said, did you really have to, or was just this an auto response?
It was an auto response, and I totally know it was.
Excellent. And now they said, let's clear the auto response. There are 2 particular markers. They want me to have you do, we're going to do the element of metal. So the element, your metal element is not really cooperating. That's why I had to print this off this morning. Why isn't your, tell me where the metal, it's in the control cycle. Okay, so the elements communicate on a very generating or degenerating or control or attack. your metal is doing going in a good way, but when it's received up to with which one is this receiving? When your metal goes up and it goes to the wood, okay, like it's supposed to on the okay, I gotta be able to see this. As the metal is, because this is the generation you want to generate, as the metal going up to, that is bizarre as F. It's not supposed to do that. So the metal on the outside goes to water. Now this one's supposed to go to wood. This is a normal control thing. This is like a parent. The parent is here. This is like the grandparent. So it's about control, but it doesn't have to be over controlled. For you, your metal goes up. And when it goes up, this is too interesting. It goes, instead of becoming to a 10, a balance, it goes into a negative state. So energy is forcing its way up, but it can't get there. And the gallbladder says no. So you have a conflict within. I said, so you have a control cycle issue. Yes. And how would you like this done? I don't know how to discern this. I only know how to use judgment on this. Okay. Really? Okay. We can measure it on ourselves. Yeah. Okay. There's the point here at the top of the sternum. And if you kind of notice that goes out here and then it goes down to peak. So if you imagine that you have a star, okay. It's just hard to do. It's when you draw a star like that. Okay. Yeah. In this case, you're supposed to go, I know this is fire. So if I were to check here and yours is strong, so you got water to fire. That's nice. I go fire to metal. That's weak. So the fire and the metal they're not communicating. And I said, okay, let me go over to here, and you got absolutely nothing. So if I wanted to heal this one, I have to heal this one. That's what they're saying. Yes. Okay. So when I go over to that one, so it goes fire to metal, because metal does not have enough to give to wood. So what do I need to do? And they said, that's where you have a lockdown. Now, which lockdown is it? That's that spiritual being. I have to spiritually be this. We're going to go, like I said, into the metal. We're going to look at long and large intestine. Those two operate together. They said the reason why it's locked is because your defenses are up and you're used to silently brooding as a conditioned process, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, most of your life. Mm-hmm. So when you saw the signature of whatever it is, remember you said all of a sudden there was this and then you had to do that? Yeah. Go back to whatever was something I was doing or something that you were, recreate that just for a moment. What was it just prior before you felt you had to run out?
Because I started having the electric feeling in my system, I knew so that was coming.
Okay, and then that was coming, and then what was happening outside?
Outside.
You were watching. Was it watching me? Watching know that I was coming on? What would trigger?
Coming on, but I knew that I had to come and speak to you today.
Okay, and
so I felt like I needed to go and release some of what I was feeling and touch.
That's no problem. Yes. Okay. Now, I just have to explain it so other people understand this. So when somebody has an anxiety or depression, sometimes you feel it in your chest and you want to run. A lot of people will pump weights. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what she was saying. And then she goes outside. But her body was meeting that as I didn't know how to come in regulation, smooth alignment. That's why there was a part of me that when the energy came in this time, I'm so used to it that I don't have to go through that channel. And no, just sitting back and going, yeah, because I don't greet it the same way her body just greeted it. So that's what her body's doing. So the metal in this case is that you got to understand lung is about grief. And the metal itself is about grief.
Okay.
So your body is saying, I'm used to meeting life with grief, even the good stuff.
Yeah.
So then your body then goes into all these other stories, which don't need to. That's false sense of assuredness. So this is where I said, do we want to release this? Okay. So to finish the spiritual, we're going to do two things at once, because we tapped on the small intestine, and that was, I don't know how to greet. It's unrequited love. It's like, I love this, but it doesn't love me. Okay. So we've tapped on that. We're going to go to the metal. You're going to use your magnet, and we're going to do both sides, just the right, because you can't really feel it. You can take your inspiration and be, and you're going to do this point under the thumb and this point. So you got these 2 points. You got that point and this point. So you're just going to take your magnet and go like this, or however you choose to do it. But you got to take it. We have to demagnetize it, because we have to take the lock off. So the intention is spiritual being and physical being, because her body was like, so her body says, we have to activate. This is who we're supposed to be.
Yeah. I've seen myself in higher form, and I know the magnificent, wow, where'd that come from? I know the magnificent soul and path that I have in this, that I've allowed myself to have. And the fact that I keep having these human parts of me that are fighting it bothers me, because I came in this lifetime knowing that it was my time to be in my full power.
Same for me.
The
And we just,
part of me, I want to say, fuck you, excuse my language.
no, I get it.
Not in this lifetime. We're not.
So again, there is no enemy. We understand where the blocks are. We are going to say, okay, we're done. We're going to resolve to evolve. This is why you go into that next stage. And this is why I've been bringing this tool through in such a unique way. So because now we demagnetized those 2 spots, okay, you now can go in and rub that spot and there, and you can do them both at the same time or separate. But when you do this, again, the intention is you're clearing out that this is the way I'm supposed to be. Now, you already know what the being was, and you're like, but I don't like it, and it stops me. Good. Now you don't need to keep it. You know how you know, I don't want to do it. So as you're experiencing it, and we go to heal it, then the body says it doesn't have to repeat it. So if this is it, so be it. Meaning there you go. Keep rubbing. And then when you're like, yes, if this is it, so be it. When she gets in that stage, she's going to go into, remember the one we were in the 2 tubes, and you had the pink and I had the, now, as I'm watching you do this, we just put that beam me up, Scotty energy look. I don't know how to explain it. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. But now you're moving away the conflict.
Yeah.
So that you can start just becoming to be by rising in that field. So your nervous system, your immune system, your blood, your fluids are all going to say, I'm going to crystallize myself into knowing I don't have to be that, but to do this. So your key word was before was I can feel myself crystallizing, but you don't have to have it into, oh my God, you can start now taking on the new code. Apparently it's like what I had wrote was, it feels like it was permission. It was like giving a permit. Oh, a doctor slip. It was like giving a doctor slip saying, this is the prescription. This is what you need. And it's like you had to have that before you can say, oh, thank you. So I can move forward.
It was a circuit. It was a fuse.
Yeah.
The fuse that was missing in the circuit. I see a circuit. Circuit board. Yes.
Now, we know this, we say, thank you, Spirit, so be it. And if it is, then when you go and start to feel it again, you won't have to feel it. You will then go, do you remember this? It's gone. You'll start to hear. Yeah, baby, I rose. Okay. And it's not that you're smug in ego, but it's an awareness of, oh my God, how cool is this? Because you know that right now you don't have to go back. That was a choice.
Sure.
Okay, so bring the awareness in and bring the examples in. Thank you, Spirit. Be aware of how the Spirit will say, see, you did it. Show you this, so this. You're going to get more in alignment because, all right, now here I go. I'm going. Ha ha. They're taking me a different way out this time. And hee hee, I'm back in a different way. I feel more cattish. I don't know what I feel like all of a sudden. I just went through a whole different race and a whole different galactic race in the kitty race.
Lyra.
I must, well, I don't know where I was at, but now I'm back. But hey,
The Lyrans.
Yeah, okay, well, we were there. And I feel like Atlantis is rising within each one of us that remembers the code to bring back all the stuff that was hidden. We're now bringing it back. So this is how Atlantis is going to rise, is through each one of us.
Mm-hmm. The right way.
Correct. Yeah, we're done. We went through that. Okay, that was the period of 1,000, whatever. It was more than that. But that's, but now we're done. We've got that experience. We're doing the evolution rise. So I'm glad you understand this. I don't feel alone.
No, you're not alone. There's many of us.
Yay! Hopefully I can wake up to whoever I'm supposed to be with. That'd be great. Okay. Good job. Thank you very much. And we will talk to you later. And this is always fun. Bye, hon. Oh, I love that. Oh my God. I had to go a little longer because that was too good. That was way too good. Oh my God. Did I, All right. So Jane, I'm going to get this link. Okay. I don't think Linda's here, but her crew is, because my body's acting that weird way again. Oh, it's very funny feeling. Very funny feeling. My body's acting that weird way. Please. So now we're going to let Linda in, and oh, you know what? The problem is that it was math. I'm thinking November. No, I got it. Makes so much sense. Here she is. Hello, hello, hello. I half expected to see a Christmas tree with squigglies on it and code all over it.
The funny thing, you say that, I bought wooden things to decorate and paint, and there'll be codes on them.
Oh, I had a feeling. Yeah. Okay, yay. All right.
Before you start,
yes,
I have to show something because I feel like it goes with what the conversation I walked into, because I came in your live late. I fell asleep. And
all right.
I fell asleep because there was a lot of shit coming, a lot of good stuff coming in, but I had to write, it's called Circuits Reprogrammed. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of what I know, what I do. Obviously, I'm a 5th generation healer in this lifetime, but up there, I have the capability, and in this lifetime, to reprogram coding in people's DNA and blueprint. So they want me to show this because they have me starting to do codes, which is what I'm going to be doing for people eventually, and helping them heal with doing energy work. I'm getting there. So they want me to show this. But it's the bottom that I wanted everyone to see.
Wow, it's like a Morse code, ain't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. Look at that. Okay. Even though everything has frequency and energy. So the energy is that she's got a couple more things to write to it, but the part of how it's setting up the seed and the base or the energy of it, it's already there, because how we change who we are, especially in the DNA, part of our blueprint, any of it, is feedbacks and feedback from the environment and time. Now, what I feel from there is there's one more piece. We got physical body, we have feedback from environment and feedback from time. I can feel environment and time in that. And so she said blueprint, which means there's something else that's there. See, she already knows.
It's on the other side of the paper.
No, that's the thing. Okay, now, yeah, now I feel more complete. But yeah, you can feel it. Amy said she felt the shift. Yeah, I love this. I love that we're starting to really step in and step up to. This is what I call Atlantis rising. Some of you may not be familiar with Atlantis. Some of you are not from that. It's not a big deal, but you got to remember, it doesn't matter about Galactic, but you have the pole, you have the Mother Earth and Father Sky, and you get these two into balance. You're going to find this an even keel that is beautiful. It's whole. It's Trinity. It's love and wisdom. It's the marriage. As we're going from particular involutions in time, we had to do the involution. Now we're coming out of it. And Atlantis is rising. It sounds really interesting because I think it's rising through us, just like the second coming of Christ is coming through that energy. And we're all ready. We're all ready to really move forward. Ooh, have you been dancing or you need to dance? Because it's like,
Oh, I have.
Okay, I've been really wanting to do some belly dancing, incorporate not just belly dancing, but code as well. And there's something the way that when you do your hands, it literally can create a harmonic tone. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay, but I'm just watching her connect her physical to the spirit. So I was like, I know what that is, but okay, how can I help you? Ooh.
What the fuck? Oh, excuse me.
No, that's all right.
I'm
We just were both beamed up somewhere.
Yeah, I know. That's why I started stuttering and doing this weird shit.
But I also had to wear white for a reason. Oh shit, bricks. Cancel Brenda. That no, it hurts. Oh,
No,
now it's going to the
very
core. It's going to the core. I can feel the core. It's like answering certain information in the core.
It's very high, and they want their that
Exactly.
okay.
Totally.
It's what the, come on, man. I'm sorry, people. I get weird when I start drifting.
No more judging. No more judging. Just slap happy that shit out.
You'll see me do these things, but it's coding. It's
yeah, it is
coding and movement. And I've been so high in frequency today, and my ears have been off the charts. And it's doing it now. And it's this weird thing. It's like they're probing in my ear and like going, it's weird, but necessary.
Well, they just handed me a well, it's not an encyclopedia, it's a manual. The same crew that always talks, yeah. Anyways, I've got this manual. I opened it to this, and it says generations of time. So certain timekeepers are meant to learn how to slipstream time so that you.
I'm a timekeeper.
Good. So here's the thing. Really want to make sure we get into 2022 with less hell. Okay. Then you're going to have to make a revolving. This is all I can see. I don't know how to really translate it, except for I see. Remember how when I drew that weird thing, and I said there was a signature there. I think, and I think that had come from one of the timekeeper. Well, it's from the. As I'm looking, I'm watching a revolving door, but the revolving door, as it comes in, depending on your state of alignment, you will have all these timelines that are now available. And each piece that's similar in each one will get into a new line. So there could be, how do I want to put this? It's cleaning up and helping us create a very higher level of consciousness. So if let's say we're just going to take the negative level, if everybody is in fear, then they're going to have all of these fears line up, and then it'll go through another revolving door. And so let's say now the fear is just being alone. Okay, so this fear of being attacked, nope, you go to a different one. This one's about being alone. So then now they're separating it even further, and then those revolving doors. So what we're doing is what we're doing as a level of consciousness as humans is learning to decide, where do we want to wake up? How do we want to wake up? Do we want to repeat certain things? Because we have actually resolved a bunch of stuff that we can't figure out how to take the hoarding out. Okay. They keep telling me it's all about the hoarding. And we got to get rid of this. But I feel like as the timekeeper, you're meant to make like timekeeper gems. You know, mind you, a Harry Potter thing. If I could get in my drawer, I'd pull up my little timekeeper thing. But remember when I sent you that thing and you go like this and it's that flip?
Yeah.
I feel like there's choice. It's a choice codes, meaning like when I pick up my book and I'm going through and say, okay, this is who I am at this moment in time. What am I going to be doing? And you go, stop. It's about hobbies. Okay, that's where we can focus. Okay, so then it's like, it's about leaving. Okay, so I feel like as the story, it's about choosing codes. It's not just we all get them, but now it's more individual soul code. There's self-care. I'm not sure. Yeah, they're putting new circuit breakers in your back. And you're interesting. Why would they be new? Yeah, well, no, they're we're doing upgrades up like the wazine. I mean, seriously. Yeah. But these feel like they worn out because she used them so much. It wasn't because she wore them out because it's the foot and the brake on the gas and the no, this is, she's been working.
Yeah. On the daily, 24/7, awake and asleep. I'm always doing a lot because my kids are so gifted and sensitive. Ethan will come when he sees that I'm in a deep trance, and I'm very capable of going and coming, and I won't be tired. But I'm on the go all the time. So he'll, wherever he is, because he's been my partner in every life.
I love it.
And he's
the grounder.
He is. He'll come and he'll grab me. He'll grab my head and he'll put his hand on my head and he'll hold me until that I've leveled out. And then when he knows that I'm leveled out, he'll look at me and he'll do this thing. He does this hand gesture now that I know what he's doing now. It took me a month to figure it out, but I know what he's doing, and it's his signature code that he puts into people and into the earth and into his mommy to help ground. Whew, I'm gonna cry. Whew.
Just wait until the day comes when you got on the same timeline. Is this the one that came through and you said Down syndrome or whatever it was? Wait, I know you guys have been there many times because I can see it, and I can see the door to that room. He and you are meant to be in this certain role play, as he's saying, according to what he's saying, is it's a role play. He says, but when we go in there, we're soul to soul, and there is no flaws. There is nothing. No. I'm not calling it a flaw. I don't know how to explain it.
No.
He's trying to say that you guys are in alignment, even though the energy, language, and all of this is not really there because you're both in two separate frequency timelines. Okay, but you're able to share this moment timeline. But when you go into, he says, there's a place that we go. And I think that's that connection you guys do, where you guys, it's perfect, clear language.
Yeah.
And so it's like when he gets done and he's like telling you, It makes it, closure is important.
Yeah.
Because his energy here, it's the closure's too much, and he wants the closure, but he can't get the closure, where you can go in and you start creating closure, but because of your time, how you experience time, you can't do the closure. Okay, with emotions and certain things. And he's like, yeah, don't know why you have to do that. But then he also knows everything gets too stimulated.
Yeah.
And then it goes over here. So you guys are both working about nerves. Okay.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? It's about those nerves.
Yeah.
But he says that there's always that one moment where I'm going to take this information, you're going to take this information, and we're going to come to the point where we do integration of communication, meaning it doesn't have to be communicated on a human sense.
No.
But the codes, it's like, okay, I went out and gathered and hunt, you went and gathered and hunt, we're going to come back and we're going to have our meeting. And it's like, yep, good, we're on the same page. Let's go do this again.
Yeah.
Because he, from what I feel, is he's not on the same, I don't want to call it a ship because it's not a ship. I don't know how else to explain it. It's in a tesseract aspect. It's a, it's one of those rooms that are in time that you can't find the room. It's, but the whole point is he's not, he says frequency wise, I'm over here. You both made that choice of not being in that alignment there, but you make a meeting space that you can, but then you also came here into different frequencies to like, he'll write one code on this side. You're both creating different parameters. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes
now,
perfect
who's the
sense.
one that likes cookies?
My daughter.
Okay. She says, I'm there. I'm almost there. She says, I still like my cookies though. So she's not quite there. So she'll get her download soon. And then all of a sudden you'll think, what is this, you know, like what 30-year-old woman doing in a, you know, young child.
Mm-hmm.
But she says, I'm just going to hang out a little bit more and eat my cookies.
Yeah.
And that's all right. Let her have her cookies.
Something just happened when you were just talking, and I looked at you and I didn't see you where you are now. I just had, I don't know, I think I just saw you up there.
Yeah, you did. You finally saw me. You stopped walking by me.
But it wasn't like this. It was very
no, it's not.
holographic, very
yes.
You know.
Yeah, you finally have now saw me in, how do we put this in Earth terms? In my attire. If I was going to have a commander-in-chief suit on, or the color of representation of who I am, you actually got, because I told you I'm up there, I'm waiting. And I saw you go by a couple times. So now I think you actually see me because I'm standing there looking at you, having a cup of coffee with you, if we were going to say that's the terms. You're getting there. You're getting it.
Getting there.
Yep. There's something about pearls. I had to wear white, but it was also about pearls. Something to do with that. I don't know what it's about, but I just know that that it has something to do with these, about that next room, whatever it is that we're supposed to do. And it could be the mineral content, the priority content, the.
I think maybe that's why they have me holding this. I've been holding this since I've been talking to you.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And
I like this. Okay, so now it's like I saw a new stone for you too. I can't remember which one it was. It was cool. But they're saying Condusa. It'll come in later as the words you'll understand, but I'm supposed to say the word Cadusa. It's like what's that?
Ka?
Yep, ka, deuce, Now I don't hear a sa, but I hear a Cadusa. Well, no, there's an S, but I keep hearing it differently. So I'm not sure which way it looks.
Ka, the breath of life.
Okay, but anyways, you're okay, just remember how pearls are made. Understand that. There's another process there. Because now I'm having another shift in hormones, and they said that the hormone shifting, there's something, I don't know if you're having problems with it or it's a sign. Another sign of you're going into another room. Because here I go again, and I'm getting ready to get pulled down. Okay, so I'm back. But something to do, I says, is this hormone about me? They go, no, because you addressed it before she came on. Okay, so something about hormones, and I don't know if you have to be in a different hormonal space in order to be able to see, because you know how testosterone sees differently than estrogen, and so you may be putting on your different yang body versus yin body.
Shifting. Shifting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm back, and you're ready to go because I'm watching you saying bye, and she may be physical here, but she knows what I'm talking about. It's always a pleasure. This is going to be, I swear to God, it's the fun trip. I swear. I know. See, and I felt your crew come before you come. And I said, oh, she's not here yet, but I know her crew's here. And then in a matter of a few minutes later, you're like, oh, there she is. So they must have told me you were waking her ass up. She's coming. Oh, that's hilarious. Wonderful. I love this. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your journey. And we will talk soon, okay? And cookies, cookies, cookies. Something about make sure you make star cookies, because you need to be able to hold that hope, or she needs to develop hope, or somebody has to have done something with hope. Sharing and caring. I don't know what it is. Let her tell her story, because I have a feeling she's got one that's ready to come through. All right. Bye, honey. Love you. Bye.